It feels very refreshing, and even if a lot of the decks are familiar, we're having a good time. At least I am. Xander's Lounge to start the game for Dom. That's a polluted Delta for Phil.
Yeah. Go. So go.
Yeah, Force of Phil is on the Brain Surge plan so far in the MH3 metagame. I played a match against Force of Phil at this event, and there were some Brain Surges cast, so we might see it also in this match against Dom. Some fetching happening here.
No.
Looking forward.
Cycle Orion.
Sure.
Draw for turn.
So wait, go ahead.
You had me nervous there. You would get so much equity playing Bowmaster, so I'm never playing around it.
All right, there's a tip for Force of Phil. Throw some Bowmasters in the deck, says Dom. You know, maybe against a player Dominic never met before, this Brainstorm doesn't get cast in this situation, but sitting across from Force of Phil, it feels safe, you know. Biscuit Boy says, love the altered lands. Yup. No Man Dude says, Phil's playmat is awesome. Yes, Force of Phil has it all, I think would be the best way to put it. There's Triumph of St. Catherine. Force of Phil is aware of that card's existence for sure. The Miracle Mechanic, Phil has it covered. It gets swords, though.
Pass you.
So Phil dropping some basics. If you're Dom right now, maybe you're slightly worried about back to basics. Here's Brain Surge. New card from Modern Horizons 3. They made 3 of them now. Can you believe it?
Anytime they activate it, this is on the stack.
I remember conversations after MH1 was out for a few months with the randos at FNM or whatever, where I was like, I'm looking forward to the next Modern Horizon set. The shakeup was awesome, despite Hogak, despite whatever, you know, problematic card. And people were like, they will never make another Modern Horizon set. And who's laughing now? I was right. Ollie, thank you for the resub. 3 months. Is that an unaltered Lorien revealed? Yeah, Force of Phil needs to get on that. Come on, Force of Phil.
Draw.
Room targeting gun.
Beans, go ahead.
So,
Pitch to
entry strategy.
Force of Will pitching Deduce. Up the Beanstalk is countered.
Draw.
Deduce? What the heck?
That was all.
I'll target the life of investor.
Sure.
Passing.
So now a brainstorm for Force of Phil. Force of Phil, of course, if you've been watching the channel for a while, is aware, you're aware, I should say, of Force of Phil's prowess with the Miracles archetype. Deduce is a card that has been in Phil's list for the last couple of months or whatever. Able to crack a clue or draw a card instant speed to cast a Terminus or something like that. And okay, Fourth Year Lingus hitting the stack. I'm not sure it's going to resolve. Phil has a Force of Will, and we are pitching Counterbalance, and it is countered.
Sigo?
No expiration. Yeah, I'll wait.
3.
Three cards in Dominic's hand at this point. And also, if you've been watching for a while, you're aware of the tricks Phil plays with Counterbalance, Mystic Sanctuary, There's a Mystic Sanctuary right now.
Brainstorm.
Brainstorm or Surge?
Storm.
Okay, sure.
Okay, Brainstorm goes to the top of the deck.
Sure.
And here is Jace the Mind Sculptor, a card we don't see much in Legacy these days. Jace will Brainstorm, remaining at 3 loyalty. Yeah, the Deduce is a miracle enabler on opponent's turn, and once Deduce has been cast, can leave a clue on the battlefield and have basically a miracle enabler at any point. All right, Leyline Binding removes Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Go for it.
Oh, okay. I have not been tracking. I believe you. All right.
We haven't been seeing many Planeswalkers in Legacy these days. Leyline Binding, a big part of the reason why.
Okay. I'm going
Treat the Angels revealed off of Brainstorm.
I'm not
Miracle Trigger on the stack. Sure. Attempting 3 Angels.
A Force of Negation.
Okay, hard casting a Force of Negation on Entreat the Angels. If it resolves, it will exile Entreat the Angels, which could matter quite a bit. Because Phil likes to put Entreat back on top of the library with Mystic Sanctuary. All right, it gets Force of Negation, and we're passing the turn to Force of Phil, who may be heartbroken over the countering of that Entreat. We'll see.
Ponder, right? Didn't you cast it?
No, I'm pitching the Narcometer. But
Oh, Narcometer.
no, I was looking for the.
You're passing?
Nothing. Yeah, nothing.
End step. I'll
Oh, you
Brainstorm.
got me.
Yeah, I read that you had the crop ride in your hand. I'm like, there's no way you have. I
had 2 of them.
You had 2 of them? Yeah.
Cards
Oh,
in
you had
hand?
2 of them?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I thought you would baseball bet doing green then.
I thought about
end
it. I wasn't
step.
sure you were
I'll
going to go
fetch.
for it.
Yeah.
That stung.
I was like, okay, you have either Boseiju or crop rod, but we can't cast Boseiju, so I'm like, okay. Go for it.
Sanctuary?
That was well played.
Go
I'll
play.
target the 4th.
Okay.
All right, a Mystic Sanctuary now for Dom, and we're putting 4th Earlingus back on top of the deck.
Draw.
Fourth Earlingus and becoming the Monarch, if it comes together for Dom here, will be huge. All right, if hard casting force is Force of Phil,
With
I'll
the,
Brainstorm in response.
Let's see, with that, I actually didn't mind.
a Brainstorm in response will resolve.
The blue player side on me felt good.
Sounds like there's laughing in the background, right? What's up with that? Fourth Earlingus is countered.
Surge? Yeah?
Yeah.
Seems strong in your deck.
Very, very expensive.
There's a Brain Surge, and Dominic says it seems strong in your deck, so... What tier is Brain Surge?
I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
Okay, a Ponder Shuffle. There's a little bit of disappointment in Phil's body language there, it seemed. All right, lots of cantrips being fired off. Mr. Bips, thank you for the sub with Prime. Appreciate that. Looks like a first-time sub. Welcome to the family. If you have Amazon Prime, you become a member of the 90s MTG family for free over on our Twitch channel. Seems like a sweet deal. Unlock everything in our Discord server, including the Decklists channel, which is the only place on the entire internet where decklists are posted. Seems like a sweet deal.
Tamio?
All right, Tamio, Inquisitive Student. We saw this card on our last stream, and it's looking pretty good so far in Legacy. Here's Murktide Regent.
Trigger Tamio?
What is Tamio triggering by?
I've drawn my third card of the turn.
Oh,
I
I
drew
see.
for turn, this, and that, so it'll be 3.
Gotcha.
Trigger.
Yep.
Dr. Pepper 77, thank you for the sub. 5 months. Appreciate that.
This happens.
This is gonna be.
All right, Tamio will flip over into the Planeswalker on the other side. Tamio, Seasoned Scholar. Text was up on the screen there for a moment.
Cast this Terminus.
Terminus on top. Phil will cast it. Murktide gone. Tamio trapped in the glare. Counterbalance. That'll be useful.
Yeah.
Prismatic ending on up the Beanstalk. Okay. So Tamio remains. The plus on Tamio gives all attackers -1, -0. I don't think Phil is particularly worried about that at the moment.
Yeah. Ponder.
Results.
Are you playing modern these days?
No, I have not since.
Is Dominic resolving this ponder like a brainstorm? It looks like. Oh dear.
How about you?
Yeah, I'm actually going to be getting back in modern. Looks like a good format.
Okay, the DCI will be reviewing this match, and we're doing the rest of the stream under protest.
Play that.
I
Fetch.
wonder what's going to happen with the Necromunda.
We'll see what happens.
I mean, if it gets banned, it gets banned. I mean,
Maybe Dominic will go to jail.
Ban. Pretty much.
it's a pretty good card.
I mean, it's just proof that Necrophones is stupid and legacy.
Actually, I mean, maybe more powerful than Necrophones because of how one-shot it is.
Brainstorm.
What do you mean?
Like I said,
Okay, now this is an actual brainstorm being resolved correctly. And 2 cards go back on top.
I know it's the stat. So like if you pay 19 like you have 19 triggers.
Ponder.
Okay, now a ponder. Let's see how this one gets resolved.
it's a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Okay, looks like this one's being done correctly. And we're going to ponder shuffle. So a little bit of goof on the first of 3 cantrips on this turn, but whatever. Not a big deal. This is Monday Night Legacy.
I'm gonna tick down on Tamio. I'm gonna revive this Ponder. Sure.
All right, Tamio, Seasoned Scholar, ticks down. Ponder again. No reactions from this counterbalance. Everything's just fine with Force of Fill for now.
Beans.
Results.
Trigger.
Up the Beanstalk will now resolve.
Tamio.
Results.
Okay, now a Tamio Inquisitive Student. Legendary rule doesn't affect it, of course. The other one is flipped upside down. Tamio is on the bottom of the library.
They're not. They don't deal with Scavenging right now. Yeah.
Yep.
Having a little bit of.
All right, there's Deduce. Yu-Gi-Oh card represents a clue after the Investigate.
Very expensive.
Tick up with Tamio.
Yep.
Looks like Tamio is up to 3. Counterbalance reveals Thwart.
3.
So Thwart, when Force of Fill is playing the long game, will be returning some number of Mystic Sanctuaries back to hand and allowing a complete recycle of a bunch of key cards in the graveyard, including Thwart itself. And if you've seen this Miracles deck in action before, you've probably seen how powerful Thwart can be in this build.
Yeah, this is a good one.
All right, here's another copy of Murktide Regent. Another Modern Horizons gem, everybody. Dom V in the chat.
Worth killing me. Beans trigger on the stack.
Carcass.
Sure.
On the mark.
Cracking the clue, casting the Thwart, countering the Murktide, and then Dom will draw the card off the Beanstalk. And another copy of Tamio will be countered. Swords of Plowshares revealed on top.
Expiration.
Pass.
All right, Force of Fill passes the turn. There isn't really a lot going on as far as creatures in this game. Both players still at healthy life totals. Entreat the Angels has been exiled. So I'm not sure what else as far as creatures Phil can do to win the game. But we did see on yesterday's stream Phil win a couple of games with a Jace Ultimate. Prismatic Ending goes on top with Mystic Sanctuary. That will likely go after... Well, I guess there's two options. Obviously, Tameo or Up the Beanstalk. I'm guessing we'd go after... What would I go after if I was Phil? Let's see. Here's the deuce. All right, going after Tameo. Tameo's gone.
Pass 2.
Tameo had 5 loyalty, but now it is in exile. Chartwin, thank you for 5 gift subs. Appreciate that. Hello, Chartwin. Thank you, thank you.
I can still cast another.
Okay, another copy of Up the Beanstalk, revealing Scalding Tarn on top of the library, so it resolves.
Say go. Yeah.
All right, crack the clue, draw the Tarn. Force of Phil does not currently know the top of the deck, but it looks like Phil is holding a copy of Brainstorm.
Prismatic, sure.
Mystic Sanctuary, put Prismatic Ending on top. It's possible Phil wants to start removing these Up the Beanstalks. All right, casting Brainstorm.
Yeah.
I don't think Phil has any copies of Triumph of St. Catherine in the main. No Mahamadi Jin either. Okay, Prismatic Ending removed 1 copy of Up the Beanstalk. There's a Leyline Binding in the center of the table holding down Jace, and it looks like Dom has scooped it up.
Yeah, that was just a colossal misplay.
Whoa.
Exiling the 4th when I had it to get. But really, what is it? It's like a 2-mana draw, maybe 1.5.
I missed what Dominic said was a misplay, but apparently Dominic feels there was a misplay. All right, turn 1 Tameo of a Volcanic Island. Tameo, Inquisitive Student from Modern Horizons 3.
Combat?
Not in my order. I had like 200 swords in my deck. So.
Yeah, prolonged.
Yeah.
I see. So you, with Delve, exiling 4th Year Lingus from the graveyard was the misplay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's
How did you know? Yeah, how did you realize I had the?
So Tameo will make a clue. Doesn't deal any damage.
Yeah, that was your only
Yeah.
Beans?
Those are like the pro
Trigger.
reads, yeah.
Okay, up the Beanstalk, right into the glare. Pass the turn.
That last one, I had to name Dragon Macabre just in case. Play one
Yeah, you know it's interesting.
Yeah, Dominic with a correct clue token, it looks like. Really nicely done.
Fetch.
I did like that you crop brought it in response.
Yeah.
Because I would have named crop rotation for sure.
Yeah, you know the first game though, that was a major, that was next level there.
Yeah.
Because it was just because I didn't think we had it, and I was like, oh, okay, then,
Trigger.
All right, there it is. There's Uro. Yeah. Xander's Lounge comes in off the Uro trigger. Terminus wipes away Tameo. The card trapped in glare on Dominic's side is Up the Beanstalk. Mystic Sanctuary tap, pass the turn. Not enough food in the graveyard for Uro just yet. Dominic has 2 clues. Get a clue.
Force the
I always wanted to say that.
Get shit down the stack. I'm going to choose all that stuff. Yeah.
So you can't cast a spell.
If there's a miracle trigger on the stack and you silence, you won't be able to cast it.
care too much about
Beans.
Yeah.
Okay, Up the Beanstalk number 2. 2 copies of Up the Beanstalk on the battlefield. Pretty good for Dom. Hasn't cashed in yet, but it's possible Dom is holding some 5 mana value or higher stuff in hand. All right, cracking a clue on end step.
But I got my basics early. You don't have the master.
Yeah, like the other thing is just like,
Yes, I got
turns I have is I do have a good supporter one. You can't
Oh, yeah.
Marcinek with a great question. Is there a more aggressive 0-3 than Tamio? Yeah, that might be... Oh, what's the 0 mana 0-3 from like back in the day? Phyrexian Walker or something? I used to like put Rancor on it in my little kid decks.
Unless you have my yard.
Nobody knows what the hell I'm talking about. All right, here's Brain Surge. It's getting Power Blast.
Results.
Yep.
Respecting the Brain Surge. Look at that, folks.
Second main.
Because it's like, okay, I'll just get the
I'll make blue.
It's completely oversized.
What do I have? 3.
Because, okay, you hit my yard, I'll just do it again.
2 copies of Up the Beanstalk once again in the Glare Zone. Here's Tamio, Inquisitive Student, one more time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, you're
That was fun. That was
Mystic Sanctuary for Force of Fill. Brain Surge and Terminus are in the graveyard.
Oh, whatever one you want to go.
Cast terms.
Terminus will be selected and it will be cast.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can cheat.
Damio goes away again.
Brain Surge on top.
Sure.
Jace the Mind Sculptor after Brain Surge goes back on top of the library. 3 Mystic Sanctuaries in play. Leyline Binding, double Beans triggers in response to a Jace Brainstorm. Jace is removed.
You could change the set where it's more like dredgy. When the cards after cards. I don't know how it would work.
I'd have to find
Yeah, Boreal Grazer is an 0-3. That's right. I forgot about that one.
do with that.
Draw.
I mean, so there is some dredging.
With this, I'm gonna make 5 blue.
I could always
More like in the name.
Copper to Flowers makes a lot of mana.
I couldn't really utilize this well. And,
Trigger the beans.
Backwards salvage, except one game where I was playing with a friend with it.
What do you?
And there was exactly
5 blue. Where else? Yeah, but where is the mana coming from?
Cycled
from
and
Oh, sorry, I'm gonna exile these 2.
okay, so it's
Yeah,
blue.
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was kind of.
All right, so just a 3-3 Murktide, drawing 2 cards. Forgot to pay the extra 2 for a moment there. Phil points that out. Now a Ponder.
I'll take it.
Oh, sorry. Should be 7. Oh, this is great.
What's just the best 0 power creature of all time? Forget toughness for a moment. 0 power.
Sigo.
Counterbalance for Force of Fill.
I love this.
Negation.
Noble Hierarch, a good choice. Ornithopter 2. Dom V says Tamio. Tarmogoyf, you're kind of pushing the limits.
Sure.
Walking Ballista is a good choice.
The double challenge.
With this,
Yeah, I'm gonna hit with these next level plays and stuff.
I'm gonna make 5 blue. I'm gonna use it and
Go.
these 2 cards.
Phyrexian Dreadnought. That's not a correct answer. All right, Murktide Regents.
Beans triggers on the stack.
Beans triggers on the stack. We are brain surging.
I'm gonna force it. Will that draw 2 more?
Sure.
All right, Force of Will, draw 2 more. Dom V jumping way ahead on cards right now. And now with double Murktide on the battlefield as well. Not allowing Brain Surge to resolve. 1 clue left. Attacking for 5. Both Murktides registered. The 2 instants and sorceries exiled. Here's another Tamio.
I'll trade.
So the magnus isn't too bad. Though it definitely got me things too.
Yeah. It was I guess it was kind of I was trying to get kind of on par with it. Plus, just for my deck, I'm doing Shadow of Saga is like a versus Saga is a column card. Draw. So 2 Beanstalks in the Glare, Carpet of Flowers, 2 5/5 Murktides, and a Tameo Inquisitive Student on Dominic's side, plus a clue. Force of Phil, Island Cycling Lorien revealed right now. Finding a Mystic Sanctuary. That Mystic Sanctuary could potentially put Terminus back on top of the deck. Yeah, Birds of Paradise is a good choice. Among the best 0-power creatures for sure.
I'll target this and Corrupted Conviction.
Sure.
Okay, Jace will bounce a Murktide. Now, Mystic Sanctuary, putting the Terminus on top we talked about.
It's really strong because you can always
With this, I'm going to make, what do I have, 6? I'm going to make 6 red. I have 4th, yeah.
All right, a scoop to 4th of your Lingus, and we are going to game 3.
Black for Bowmasters or red for 4th and Pyroblast against you?
I finally got the old one.
For Rohan.
Finally got it. Took a bit. It was like bad.
What if he had Bailoffs in his hands?
The joke is there's only one bailoff.
There's only one bailoff, yeah.
I'm thinking.
So I'll use this to do like this.
All right, 1 card goes to the bottom for Force of Phil. Phil is on the play. Tundra and Ponder.
Such a hater.
Yes, but I like miserable formats. So.
This is really good.
No, I don't.
Yeah. There should be a sleep. Oh, there's a barrel.
No, there's sleeper.
Oh, sleeper. Sleeper's on.
All right, turn 1, Ponder for Dominic. Ponder shuffle it will be. Christmas in the chat. Dom V says, I will post my list in the Discord, but I missed Bowmasters more than I liked having 4th. Yeah, so these Beanstalk decks have been, well, at least Dominic has been testing a few new cards in the deck. People are still trying to figure out what they want to be playing in the MH3 metagame. Force of Negation on.
I'm going to target.
Counterbalance.
Target. Dackmore Salvage.
Brainstorm.
Black Bandana.
Oh, that's rough. What was it? Forgetful Ghoul. Like it. Yeah, I had 2 of them in here, but I only run 1 now. It was too absurd. It wasn't like it broke the thing.
Dom says 4th is good against Phil, but clunky against a lot of the other top decks. Yeah, I cut 4th Year Lingus from my Stompy deck, actually. It just wasn't very good in the current metagame, it felt like. Yeah.
In the 12 is what's for. Oh, you took Chainer's Edict?
Chainer's Edict, Misinformation, Dackmore.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Metagame feels super hostile to the Monarch and Initiative stuff right now, in my personal opinion.
Draw?
Yeah.
That's wonderful. I'm going to play it anyway. Pass.
I'm going to cycle Paramore.
Oh, yeah, you have a chain for going to Chainer's Edict. Yeah. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, Audrey, absolutely right. 4th is good in the control mirrors, but otherwise it can be a liability with so many evasive creatures. And if we're talking about my Stompy deck, obviously my Stompy deck is not getting played right now. I'm not a control mirror. I'm not in a control mirror at any point. All right, up the Beanstalk. Here's Ponder.
I think it would be it'd be nice to have you can have like a bailoff package with Pentacorox, and you could have like the like a land destruction
Up the Beanstalk in the Glare Zone. This has been a pretty Uneventful game 3 so far. Both players just casting some cantrips for the most part. There was a counterbalance that got countered early on. All right, here's a prismatic ending going after Beanstalk. That is countered, and Dom will draw a card.
Yeah,
So
multiple.
essentially, you will always draw a land. And
The possibility of Mystic Sanctuary to put prismatic ending back on top of the library and try it again for Force of Fill.
See, that's pretty funny. I like that idea.
Audrey predicting maybe Life from the Loam will get a chance to shine in the new metagame. Yeah, possibly. Mr. Bibb says, how many more games are we doing? We're going to try and fit in a few rounds today. We'll see.
Yeah, you're right about one thing. Eventually,
And of course, if you're watching this later and you never watched one of our live streams and you're wondering why the hell are we watching this, Twitch chat votes round by round which matches we will watch. So it's really up to the chat what we will be watching. Asu Marian, thank you for the 100 bits. Appreciate that.
you can't do it forever.
yeah,
18.
That's interesting.
Fluffy, thank you for the sub with Prime. 6 months. Fluffy is here, and look at that. Fluffy barges in right during the control mirror, and what a predictable thing to do.
Lauren,
I will trigger him to take back barrel.
We have seen some brain surges, Fluffy. Calm down. Deduce.
Just pay it off.
And that's another thing. There's not enough creatures.
Sure.
I'm going to cast.
Lorian revealed is countered. And looks like things are getting a little mixed up here. Nope. Okay.
I have one left.
I think you should probably have like only this information to prevent this.
Cards?
No, this is what's really fun about it.
It's really interesting.
All right, there's a brain surge. Force of Fill will draw 4, put 2 back on top.
It doesn't have to lock you out first. It's just like 4 more
Just
turns.
enough. Yeah, it's like a tempo play.
It's interesting that black is able to do tempo. I didn't even see that. That's really. I really like this a lot. If it gets to the extreme where there's something really outrageous, I would maybe make it a 2 misinformation.
Draw.
You know what I could do is cut a couple of those and put it into a single or something like that. To have more,
Trigger.
get more variety.
All right, now Mystic Sanctuary puts Lorian revealed back on top. Both players using Mystic Sanctuary to try and get ahead in this game. If we had a ticker of sorts keeping track of which player has drawn more cards in this game, I'm not sure who's ahead on that specifically. Force of Negation on Lorian revealed, trying to protect it with Force of Will. Dom really wants to draw these cards to get ahead.
That would be interesting. I do have one coffin card.
Just started.
Pitching.
I'm going to pitch.
I like the single idea though a lot.
Okay, pitching counterbalance to Force of Negation number 2, and both spells are counter. Lorian revealed should be in exile. There it is. Corrected. Entreat the Angels off the top, making 2 Angels. They will be represented by Yu-Gi-Oh cards, of course. So 2 Angels and a clue on Phil's side. The clue is the blue one.
You know, there's no more creatures though.
No more creatures.
Oh, I see it.
I have one card in my hand. And I have a scrap.
Murktide Regent, folks.
Alright, it'll be 17.
Okay. I'm going
Take
to
out.
flash in a activated sleep.
Interesting. Okay. I would like to have done a reverse.
Another copy of Brain Surge.
Oh, right.
Phil looking for a way to beat this 7/7 Murktide.
You seem to have survived.
But now,
Because I fought.
Yeah, Dom is in the chat saying so far Phil has outdrew the Beans deck.
I'll
I'm putting
pass the turn.
back this.
Draw random
This.
cards.
Sure.
No.
Go.
Eat it, so.
This. Go ahead.
I'll respond on the stack.
Yeah.
All right, there's Uro. It resolves, goes into the trash. I'm not sure how many cards are in the graveyard. Looks like only 3 now.
Oh yeah, any number. Oh, there's no.
There's only one, yeah. So I'll just get to draw it.
Yeah, look, Dominic's graveyard looks mostly empty, so it doesn't look like Uro, at least as things stand right now, will be escaped next turn. All right, cracking a clue.
Yeah, this misinformation thing is not that bad. Not too bad. Definitely something to watch out for just in case.
Phil still has 2 4/4 angels on defense. All right, cycling Lorien revealed.
More significant disparity in this.
Targeting.
I'm going to misinformation. Targeting the barrel pool that you're targeting.
Okay, Mystic Sanctuary.
This is not a good pass, right? Just
Okay, Entreat the Angels will be selected. Put it back on top of the library.
It will fizzle.
The Yu-Gi-Oh cards on the battlefield are 4/4 white angels, created by Entreat the Angels, which is now on top of the deck and will likely be cast again.
yeah. If he had exactly like more, since he has 0 legal targets,
I thought it
would have said no target.
yeah.
I thought it said any number. Of
Yeah, if you said no targets, then you still draw.
Yeah.
Did you have another counter? On my order. Do you have another thing on
Okay.
7/7 Murktide, 2 4/4s on Phil's side, maybe more on the way unless Dom can stop it.
Wait, which phase are we in? Whose phase are we in?
This is the first one phase. This was basket.
4th Erlingus, X equals 3.
Cards?
4th at your Lingus, X is 3. Force of negation on that. Force of negation important here. We were just talking about putting 4th year Lingus back on top of the library with Mystic Sanctuary during the previous game. That won't be a possibility right now. Phil is making 3 angels on draw step. So 5 4/4 angels on Phil's side, a 7/7 Murktide on the other side.
I've had enough lands for these games.
Yeah. I lost track of the phase.
Ooh, Jace the Mind Sculptor gets power blasted. Okay. Now a ponder for Phil.
I was like, this also works that way.
No, I just
I know it works.
If that Jace had resolved, the game would have ended. So Dominic fighting to stay alive here.
Yeah, I was like,
Judd here with a highlighted message for us. Eldrazi is back, baby. Yes. Yes. All right, one of the angels will be blocked. Leyline binding on another. So it looks like 12 damage gets through. There's a flooded strand. It could potentially become a Mystic Sanctuary. Put Entreat on top again. Dominic low on resources, and we're just going to see a scoop here. Force of Phil gets the match. GG's. GG's.